Welcome to the Asset Management Mastery Podcast. Your hosts, Gary Lipsky and Kyle Mitchell, have more than 50 years of combined experience in operations and management and more than 25 years of real estate investing experience. This show focuses on educating syndicators and apartment owners on how to build systems and manage their properties more efficiently to become a best-in-class operator. 100% straight talk. Let's jump in.
Hey everyone, welcome to our Asset Management Mastery Podcast. I'm your co-host Kyle Mitchell, also joined by Gary Lipsky. This podcast is focused on educating operators, building better systems, and becoming a best-in-class operator. Also be sure to check out our Facebook group, Asset Management Mastery. All right, today on the show we have Tom Shelton. Tom, how you doing?
Good, sir. Thank you. Great.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you being on. If you can start by telling the listeners a little bit more about yourself and what you currently do.
Sure. My name again is Tom Shelton. I am a principal in a firm by the name of Asset Living, and Asset, just by definition, is a large multifamily manager and operator based in Houston, Texas. And I've been a part of that company since February of 2020. More explicitly, Asset was just ranked as the 5th largest manager of multifamily housing in the country. Our total portfolio now exceeds 105,000 units. We became a part of the Asset Living family in, like I said, February of last year when we sold our business, which was a company called Shelton Residential based here in Phoenix. And so my responsibilities currently, we operate about a 20,000 unit portfolio west of Texas. So we're currently in Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado. Then we do have some responsibilities just over into West Texas, I guess. So that's kind of a little bit of what we do. Our company is fairly diverse. In addition, I should mention, I guess Asset's the largest manager of student housing in the country. There's about 125,000 beds in 42 states, and represents a lot of third-party owners and managers of student housing on most of the major campuses across the country. And our portfolio is a little bit of a mix of what you'd expect, mostly conventional, but we do have some affordable tax credit assets and everything from, brand new lease ups to A quality deals to a lot of B and C value add properties. We do have some seniors, we have some students, we have some affordable, a little bit of everything. So that's a little bit about our company and about what we do.
Well, great. Well, obviously we're going to talk about property management today. So what makes a great property management company?
Great question. And I think the first, probably the best answer I can give you, I think, is great people. I think everybody knows and I think realizes that this is a people business, even though it's a lot of focus and attention on the real estate and the sticks and bricks, if you will, but it really takes people that really, I think, make a difference. People that are focused, that are committed, are passionate about what they do. I think we like and surround ourselves with people that are good communicators. And so I think the biggest key to being a success in the property management business is it really starts, with the people. And so I think if you and everything, I think, kind of goes from there. We like people that, like I said, are good communicators and are good thinkers. And a lot of the real estate management business and asset management things you can teach them. But, I tell people all the time that it's things like, people that are, ethical, moral, honest, dependable, committed, those are the qualities that we really look for. So I think if you start and you're going to build a business and you look for and you build it around the right people, you'll have a much higher chance of success.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of the best practices that an asset manager or an operator can do to build a strong collaboration with a property management company?
Another great question. Now, I really think that a lot of that starts, and I think in our experience, we believe that starts with really taking the time to understand the goals and objectives of ownership. As you guys know very well, we've had the opportunity to work with you and Kyle for a period of time. Every asset is a little bit different. Every market is a little bit different. We have properties that we manage for, family offices or that are held by a family trust. where these are going to be, 10, 15, 20, 25-year investments. Some are well capitalized, some not so much. So everybody's got a little bit different time frame, a little bit different objective, a little bit different goal. How are we going to get there? What time do we want to get there? What's the best way to, achieve that goal? And so I think, from a collaboration perspective, I like to tell people that it's important early on in the relationship that, most investors like you and Kyle have a strategy, you have an idea as to how to get that asset, moved from point A to point B. So once we all understand that, then it becomes a question of us, deploying the appropriate resources and the tools to make that goal achievable.
What kind of changes do you see coming up in the years ahead for the industry of property management?
Boy, the industry's changing a lot, as you guys know. I think one of the things that we're going to continue to see is the advent of additional technology. There's a lot of conversation, obviously, about kind of this technology when it comes to leasing, showing apartments, smart home technology. Like the realtors are doing these days. The MLS people for a long time have just had lock boxes on units, and there are a number of different software platforms out there that allow people to do self-guided tours. You can unlock units remotely. You can set the temperature remotely. You can lock units. There is technology out there that text messages can be sent within 5 minutes to people that inspected apartments. So all of that, I think we're going to continue to see a little bit more frequently. There's a lot of more and more people now getting into the kind of the business intelligence aspect of the business, and utilizing, I think, more analytical tools to look at data and some predictive analytics about what that's going to tell you about how your asset's going to perform over the next months and years. A little bit of artificial intelligence being applied to our business. There are companies like LeaseHawk and others that are using now automated chat bots to answer telephones and answer questions. There's an AI feature now that will answer the telephone for you, set an appointment, answer questions, that they've now perfected to the point where they can talk about the features of the apartment. They're programmed to answer questions. And in fact, up to recently, I saw where one of these particular providers obviously was actually pushing to have one of their AI chatbots actually host a seminar because they thought the technology had advanced to the point where they could respond to questions and that would come randomly from the audience. So it's pretty intriguing. And then at the end of the day, not that I don't think you'll ever replace the human factor in our business, but if it does allow you to perhaps save on a leasing person, or maybe be able to open longer hours without having to add to payroll costs, I think that benefits everybody.
And what piece of advice would you give to new operators out there?
Boy, I think another good. I just think, like we said before, I think have a strategy. I think understand. I think what the strategy is, and then I think at the same time be prepared for that, for there to be some unexpected changes that always affect the time frame under which you'll be able to to implement and execute that strategy. So that's just kind of one of those things. We worked with a group, Canadian investment group here for a long time, and we knew exactly what their investment strategy was. They were all about buying buildings where you could install washers and dryers. We knew exactly how much of a lift we would get with the in-unit washer dryers. We knew exactly what the cost was going to be. We knew what the return was going to be. We knew how many units we would be able to turn in a month. And then their stated strategy was that they wanted to get those done, turn the rent roll, raise the rents, and then in a period of 12 to 18 months, refinance the buildings, return their capital to their investors, and then refinance them and go on about their deal. So at that point in time, investors and it was just from that point, once equity was back, everybody, became a lot happier. So I think the idea is, again, just not to be repetitive, but just to really kind of adapt a strategy, understand, I think, what the market's going to give you, what we can do collectively as asset managers, owners, and operators to move the needle based on improvements to the real estate. And let's all agree what that strategy, what that plan is. And I think if you do that up front, you've got a much higher probability for success.
Yeah, 100% agree. I'm going to pass it over to Kyle to take us home.
All right, Tom, we ask every guest this. What is your asset management superpower?
Boy, that's I should say that's a long list, but I thought about that. Here's what I think that I really would like to believe. I think we're really very good listeners. I think you have to be able to listen to your client. And I used to tell our boys all the time, there's a difference between hearing and listening. I know sometimes they would hear me, but I wasn't quite sure they were listening to what I said. So now I'm having that same conversation with 5 grandsons, but and sometimes more effective than others. But I think you need to listen to what your client says, listen to what their goals are, listen to, what they want to achieve. Sometimes conversations are difficult, but you've got to, address issues and address problems. And I think that's a real key. I think that if you're a good listener, I think your clients will appreciate that. You're able to react to the message that they're delivering to you. And if you do that, again, I think that just increases, the value of the relationship. If you become more of a partner with your investors and your owners and your clients, and I think that ultimately is a better relationship and better poised for success than otherwise.
Yeah, very well said. And, one of the many reasons why we love working with your team. Before we go ahead and tell the listeners where they can find out more about you and Asset Living.
Sure. Be happy to. Our website is www.assetliving.com. There's all kinds of information on there about our company, about our background, contact information for all of the principals and the partners. I'd be happy to talk to anybody about a real estate question, property management question, individual markets or buildings. We do a lot of consulting, do a lot of pro formas, work with a lot of clients trying to analyze opportunities. And I'm more than welcome to field questions or emails. And then that's really the best way to reach us.
Perfect. Thanks for being on the show, Tom. We really appreciate it. And for all those listening in, please send us a like, subscribe, and review so we can continue to grow the podcast. And we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please go to iTunes and leave a rating and written review to help us grow and reach more listeners. You can also go to the Asset Management Mastery Group on Facebook so you can reach Kyle and Gary and ask your questions that you want them to answer on the show. Subscribe too so you can get the latest episodes. Lastly, to stay updated, go to assetmanagementmastery.com and sign up for the newsletter. If you're interested in partnering with Gary and Kyle, sign up on the contact page so you can talk to them directly. Thanks again for joining us. Be sure to tune in again next week for another episode.